What if there was one question that if you asked it at the beginning of your relationship with a client would change everything about how you interacted with that client so that you found more success? You see, real estate agents are very, very eager to jump into a deal, to get things going. Most all of us are action takers. And that's good in some regards, but the hard part is that many times we start getting too far ahead of ourselves. And this is because we don't take the time to ask a very important question up front. And today we're going to walk through exactly what that question is, how it impacts how you interact with your clients, and ultimately how it leads to more success. So with that, let's dive right in. Now, the question we need to ask is, what is your risk tolerance? Okay. Now, here's the key here. It's one thing to know the question that you need to ask. It's another thing to understand how to use this question. So let's talk about that next. Sometimes this might be a direct question to your clients that you would ask them. Sometimes this is going to be something you do internally where you're asking them and talking to them and sort of ascertaining where they fall. And the first thing I would do is think about this as a scale. Nobody is necessarily a 0 or a 10 per se. When you first start using this, what I would think about doing is I would just draw a line down the middle, and I would think about, somebody is either going to be risky or risk adverse, right? Up here is I love risk, up here is I hate risk. And to understand how this works, you can think about people up here are the ones that are showing up at the casino. They're the ones that are going to be doing kind of extreme things like skydiving, right? And if we go down to this other end of the spectrum, the biggest thing about these people would be that these are your planners. These guys are going to operate on a slow basis, right? They want to be slow and methodical and know what they're doing, right? So the first step is just figure out, are they in this area or are they in this area, right? And as you get used to doing this more, you can start to realize that truly there are different levels, and you can start to figure out, does somebody fall somewhere along this line, right? They may tell you, if you say rate yourself from 0 to 10, 10 being I love risk, 0 being I hate risk, where would you be? And then you can kind of think about it this way. Now, again, knowing this is awesome, but we got to know what to do with this and how this translates. And so I want to give you an example of how this would actually impact a transaction that you would have. First, let's recognize this, that in most couples, which is a lot of real estate transactions, there is typically going to be one of them that is risk adverse and one of them that likes risk. And so you've got to navigate understanding that couples have these different dynamics, right? The same is true when we think about this. One person is typically going to be a numbers person, right? And that's usually the person who is risk adverse. And this person who is risky is going to be more of an emotions person, and they have different motivations behind their actions. They're going to fall in love with the house. They're going to want to know, does it make sense? Okay. And so you can understand how to manage your expectations with this. You can understand how to manage your clients' expectations. But here's one way that I think that this is really going to show up in your deals, right? If we think about the risky person, this person is going to be quick to act, okay? Now, every positive, right? You might think that's a positive because you're gonna say, hey, a house came on the market, do you wanna go see it and make an offer? And they're gonna go, yeah, let's go see it. Yeah, let's write an offer. And they're gonna get caught up in that. That is ultimately the good aspect, right? But unfortunately, there's a negative aspect, and these guys are also going to be quick to run. And what we mean by that is they may get into it quickly, but they're also not going to stay tied to it. They may say, I don't like this anymore, let's go, right? On the other hand, the person that is risk adverse, they are going to be slow, and you will probably look at that as a negative thing. But the truth is that as you work through this with them, they are going to be much more committed. And that is going to be something where it may take longer to get them under contract, but that's going to be a positive aspect that's going to translate to them. So in your business, as you start working with new people, I want you to start thinking about this, start using this, start seeing how it manifests in your deals and with your clients. And if you like this kind of information, subscribe to the channel and give me a like.